of time before the court strikes it down. And that is why we continue to fight against the national health insurance, which has officially been put on hold through a court order. Every single day, in big ways and small, DA councillors, activists, MPs and MPLs are winning the battles against destructive policies in ways that were impossible before, because we now have a seat at the table. And the results speak for themselves. The clarity and urgency that the DA has brought to bear against the destructive policies in favour of economic reform has already led to South Africa's removal from the FATF grey list, our first credit ratings upgrade in 20 years, a doubling of economic growth, and the first signs of lower unemployment. Democrats, we've still got a long way to go to rescue South Africa, but for the first time in decades, our country is well and truly moving in the right direction. And make no mistake about it, the only reason why any of this is happening, the only reason we prevented a VAT increase, the only reason why we are fixing broken departments, and the only reason that our economy is showing signs of life is because the DA accomplished our moonshot mission to enter a national governing coalition. But the DA's work in national government also matters at another deeper level. For almost 70 years, our predecessors strove for a South Africa where all forms of ethnic nationalism would be replaced by a liberal, non-racial, governing alternative that regards citizens as individuals worthy of protection and empowerment. A country where every person enjoys access to the opportunities that they need to build a life, and where we could unite them in our diversity. Thanks to our moonshot mission, South Africa has taken a major step forward to realizing the vision. The fact that a country as diverse as South Africa now has a multi-party coalition governing it, and it is increasingly anchored in our liberal reform agenda, is an astonishing national achievement, given our country's divided and violent past. Even in societies that are much less diverse, societies that are much more divided, coalitions routinely collapse over the kind of deep disagreements that our GNU continues to navigate. And that is profoundly important because it demonstrates beyond doubt that this country is capable of working together to pursue reform and growth. It is not yet at the scale we require, not by a long way, but the experience of the GNU so far demonstrates that, for the first time in South Africa's history, a future with the DA at its heart, united in our diversity, can solve common problems, and that is now within reach. This is also important, Democrats, beyond our own shores. Globally, we have entered an uncertain new era marked by growing division, populism, and violence. We're living through a moment in time where the timeless liberal values that we hold dear, freedom, fairness, opportunity, and diversity, are coming under the most sustained assault since the end of the Second World War. Illiberalism at home and abroad is on the march, and its defining feature is a retreat into populist and ethnic nationalism based on the belief that diverse societies are just doomed to fail. This rising global tide of scapegoating, othering, and ethnic division strikes at the very heart of who we are and the DA's political project. Because our party's core belief, dating all the way back to 1959, is that a country as richly diverse as South Africa can be made to work for all of its people. That a country home to people who have different skin tones, who worship different gods, who speak different languages, who love different people, and whose ancestors came from different places, is not doomed to collapse in endless conflict, but that it can succeed. And that it can succeed not in spite of its diversity, but it can succeed because of its diversity. And look at us, look at our diversity in this hall today. It's also clear that the rising global tide of populism is also lapping at our shores. The doomsday coalition that I warned about from the stage 3 years ago has now taken power in Gauteng. In KwaZulu-Natal, it's kept at bay by a single vote in the provincial legislature. Ethnic nationalism, anti-foreigner incitement, and a drive to exploit our country's problems to drive division are all manifestations of this growing illiberalism. At precisely the moment that the DA took our biggest step towards building a society where every person, regardless of their background, can look forward to a better future, we are confronted by new forces whose sole aim is to replace our inclusive vision with new forms of division, nationalism, populism, and hatred. And it is an agenda that we must reject, and we must reject at all costs, because, Democrats, it is the antithesis of who we are and what our predecessors fought for. And instead, if this is where the world is going, then our job as the DA is to ensure that South Africa is an outlier. While many places around the globe have swung towards extremes, South Africa is one of the few countries that today has a more moderate government, a more inclusive government, and a more diverse government than we had 2 years ago. The formation of the GNU is precious, and it is historic, and an opportunity to unite those who want to build a better country across all those old dividing lines of race, class, language, and religion. It's an opportunity that we must seize and build upon. We, the people of South Africa, and our government of national unity, are now the torchbearers of the future, keeping the flame alive for a world where difference and diversity are harnessed instead of weaponized. Now, this is not naivety, it's practical, because it is only through the values and principles of the DA that South Africa can ensure a prosperous future for all of its people. As I conclude my chapter as the head of the DA, it is fitting to quote the founding leader of our predecessor party, Dr. Jannie Steytler, who famously said way back in 1959 that, I quote, "One day, South Africa will be governed by our principles because it is the only way it can be governed," unquote. My fellow South Africans, that a party once consigned to irrelevance and ridicule now shapes the very destiny of South Africa is the legacy that I and we leave behind for the Democratic Alliance. For me, it is mission accomplished. I hand over the baton of leadership with immense pride and complete confidence. The DA today is stronger, larger, more relevant, and more influential than any time in our history. We're no longer a regional party or a perpetual opposition. We are a national force for reform, a party in government that is already making South Africa better. And Democrats, the road ahead will have challenges. It always does. But the foundations that we have built together are solid. The values we defend are timeless. And the mission to become the largest party in South Africa and build a country where every citizen has a fair shot, regardless of their background, remains as urgent as ever. So thank you. Thank you to you, to every member of the DA, for the millions of acts of kindness and support that you've shown to me through my leadership journey. Thank you for the honor of leading this great party. It truly has been the greatest privilege of my life. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to my incredible staff that works in the leader's office, who've crisscrossed this country with me tirelessly. To all of you, thank you. I couldn't have done it without you. And to my right arm, Una Christians, who's managed the admin in my office for so long. Thank you so much, Una. It's her 20th year of service to the DA today, 12 of which have been with me. And now the hard part. Thank you to my family. Thank you for the sacrifice that you've all made so that I could pursue our dreams together as the DA. Thank you for putting up with the long absences and the grumpiness when I got home after a long campaign day. My daughters are delighted that they won't be seeing their dad dancing on Instagram anymore. And finally, for anybody who may be wondering what I'll be doing next, aside from working night and day until we defeat foot and mouth disease, I will be doing what I have always done since I first joined this party after high school. I'll be side by side with all of you in this glorious blue machine, working in the trenches, supporting the next chapter of our history. I love my party, I love my country, and I will continue to serve them both with all of my heart and soul. Thank you. God bless you. God bless South Africa. God bless the DA.
Let's go! See! Yo, yo, yo! Asante wena man! Kanane sizopume. Asante again! Kanane segusele kanane. Sahamba man! Kanane sizopume. Asante wena man! Kanane segusele kanane. Washa! Kanane sizopume. Let's go! Everybody, yes! Let's go! Let's say, what's up? Mpumalanga sekusele kancane asambe wena kancane sizophumelela angenizwa wathu ekholi sekusele kancane washa kancane sizophumelela waza kancane sekusele kancane asambe ma kancane sizophumelela waza kancane sekusele kancane kancane sizophumelela. Let's go to church, John. Waza away. Ashi kancane sekusele kancane asambe kancane sizophumelela ozomana sithi kancane sekusele kancane hayi ma kancane sizophumelela ayaya John Steinlein ayaya viva John Steinlein viva Tata John Steinlein rapata yo sekusele kancane asambe kwani yo sekusele kancane wozawa kancane sizophumelela kancane sekusele kancane asambe wena ayayathi ayayale hoyi kancane sekusele kancane.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem.
Ratings Africa says the state of South Africa's municipalities, with the exception of the Western Cape, is on the brink of financial collapse.
From the non-maintenance of buildings and potholed roads to being unable to get the most basic of services such as water and electricity. Experts say aging infrastructure and lack of maintenance are a big part of this problem.
The country, of course, has been experiencing water challenges, with some communities not receiving clean drinking water for weeks on end.
Clearly, it shows that the infrastructure was never maintained since the ANC government has taken over.
Tell them, one of them, to live with us for one day and then see if they're going to survive. But we have to survive.
Corruption is a massive problem in South Africa.
Lots of tenders, lots of kickbacks, lots of dodgy deals.
We are now seeing the consequences of corruption.
The increasing cost of living continues to take a toll on South Africans.
And it's going to get even worse.
South Africa ranked as one of the most dangerous countries in the world.
The latest crime stats suggest South Africa is a crime scene.
The unemployment rate is at a record high.
Around 16.9 million people of working age are without jobs as we speak.
The government that South Africans vote for into power to handle service delivery cannot adequately and sustainably manage all these spheres of local government and municipalities.
Why do you think the government is not doing anything when there is so much at stake for this country?
While others run cities into the ground, only one man will get Durban working. The man who has invited all eThekwini residents to walk with him. Welcome on stage, the DA's eThekwini mayoral candidate, Hanif Hussein.
Yeah, fellow Democrats, friends, walk with me. Millions of South Africans watching today. What you have just seen on these screens sums it up. Broken towns and cities which must be rescued. For so many years we warned that when government puts power before people, puts cadres before competence, and loyalty before integrity, the result would be destroyed towns and cities. Destruction, corruption, crime, and brazen theft of public resources. In too many places, we still see governments that reward corruption, protect failure, and silence accountability. It destroys hope. And ultimately, it destroys the shared future of our beautiful country. Because all across towns and cities in our country, the story is the same. Where bad parties govern, collapse follows. Where bad parties enter coalitions, chaos follows. And where they cling to power, corruption follows. I stand here today as the mayoral candidate for eThekwini. And so let's take a look at Durban. Communities there go without water for weeks on end. Almost 60% of the water is wasted, and residents have to pay more for less. A city that should be one of Africa's greatest economic hubs, brought to its knees. A municipality where billions are spent but basic services fail. Where infrastructure crumbles while contracts are inflated. Where shack communities are left in filth while the politically connected elites grow rich. And yet the architects of destruction spent 22 million rand on statues instead of fixing the pipes or building houses for the poor. They took a working city and they broke it. This is not incompetence alone. They deploy cadres, not because they are capable, but because they are loyal. They award tenders, not because they deliver, but because they donate. They protect failure because accountability threatens the entire network. And the result, a city that doesn't work, a government that doesn't care, and the people who are forced to suffer. And let us be absolutely clear, this is how cities are broken. Not by accident, but by design. And so by design, we can also unbreak them. By design, we can get them working again. Government failure is not a permanent feature. There is a cure. It is to remove the looters of opportunity, the thieves of dignity, the crooks with a political mandate. The ANC at a local level is nothing more than an organized corruption syndicate masquerading as a political party. But like every other syndicate, their days run out. And I'm not here just to tell you about the story of the rise and fall of the ANC, because, fellow Democrats, there is another much more important story to tell in our country. A story they don't want told. A story of what happens when government actually works. Where the DA governs, cities are cleaner, safer, and much better run. Where the DA governs, we create work. Because we have proven that cities that work create work. Where we lead, money is spent on the people, not stolen from them. We don't make excuses, we make progress. And that is the DA difference. The difference between a party that governs for itself and a party that governs for the people. So today we say enough. Enough of the decay of local governments like eThekwini. Enough of local governments that treat public money like private property. This is not just about politics. This is about the future of every South African who still believes that things can work. And they can. But only if we are prepared to fight for the change we want to see, to organize, to mobilize, to take this message into every community, every street, every home. And as the mayoral candidate for Durban, I stand on the shoulders of hard-working DA caucus with those councillors who fight every single day for our residents. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not easy work. It is relentless work. But the truth is simple. Our cities do not have to fail. Our people do not have to suffer. There is a better way. And we are living proof of that. So let this Congress send a message today to every voter, every worker, every young person searching for hope. We are ready to govern, ready to fix what's broken, ready to rescue our cities. South Africa, the time is now. If we can stand together, we are going to be stronger together, and only the DA can bring change to our cities. We can and we will get your city working. Walk with us, South Africa. It's time to get South Africa working again. Thank you very much.
Delegates, help me welcome to the stage the man who brought smart IDs to hundreds of bank branches, like my hometown of Howick. The man bringing you home affairs at home. Welcome, Dr. Leon Schreiber.
And now, please welcome Mpumalanga Provincial Leader. She is a Deputy Minister too, cutting red tape for small businesses. Welcome, Mama Jane Sitole.
Fellow Democrats, fellow South Africans, if I stood on this stage at our last Congress in 2023 and said the words Home Affairs to you, how would that have made you feel? No doubt your mind would have immediately gone to those dreaded queues and the mountains of paperwork. That is why when the DA stepped up to reform Home Affairs in the Government of National Unity, many people said it could not be done. They called it a poison chalice. But now, just 21 months later, the words Home Affairs already conjures up a very different feeling. Where once there was only despair, there is now hope because of the DA's work in the GNU. Our new digital partnership model has already brought paperless smart ID applications to 110 bank branches across the country in just 1 month since it was launched. No bookings, no queues, and no physical documents required. The entire process is done through fingerprint and facial recognition within just 5 minutes. Thanks to this work, communities like Iduchwa, Parys, and Katu have now gained access to smart ID services right where they live for the very first time ever. And Democrats, we are just getting started. We're expanding this world-class service to no fewer than 1,000 bank branches across the length and breadth of this country. And we will also shortly enable first-time smart ID applications and passport applications, as well as secure courier delivery. What that means is that instead of forcing you to stand in a long queue just to collect your own ID and passport at a faraway Home Affairs office, we are bringing your enabling documents right to your own doorstep. This is our vision to deliver Home Affairs at home in action. We are also building a cutting-edge digital ID system that will make your enabling documents accessible in digital format on your smartphone. Just like you already do with online banking, all of your information will be available at your fingertips, secured through biometric technology. And we are rebuilding with focus South Africa's immigration system from the ground up. Over the past 2 years, we have already deported nearly 110,000 illegal immigrants, an increase of 46% compared to 2023. The drones and body cameras deployed by the Border Management Authority have prevented hundreds of thousands more attempted illegal entries. Through the electronic travel authorization, we are using machine learning and biometric technology to drive tourism and economic growth and to bring an end to visa corruption and inefficiency once and for all. All of this work will be supported through the revised white paper on citizenship, immigration, and refugee protection that Cabinet has just approved. My fellow South Africans, the DA's work in the GNU across the 6 portfolios we manage proves that this party can fix what is seemingly unfixable. What we are doing is state building out of the ashes of state capture. So if you live in a broken municipality, and if you thought that your community's problems were unfixable, then I am here to deliver a message of hope to you. For the first time in our country's democracy, there is a party that has demonstrated at municipal, at provincial, and now at national level that it can fix the problems that others created and have long since given up on. That party is the Democratic Alliance. In the upcoming local government elections, if you want someone to fix your municipality, just like we are busy fixing Home Affairs, then there is only one thing to do: vote DA. Thank you.
La DA, la. Democrats, what Minister Leon Schreiber has outlined today is not just an isolated story. It is a much bigger shift taking place across government. Because when we entered the national government, we did not just find fault in one department. We found the state-weakened years of corruption, cadre deployment, waste, and decisions that put politics ahead of the people. But South Africans are not interested in excuses. They want results. They want a government that works. They want leaders that implement. And that is exactly what DA ministers and deputy ministers are doing in the government of national unity. Across every portfolio where the DA serves, there's a clear, consistent shift from dysfunction to delivery, from bureaucracy to efficiency, from corruption to accountability. The DA ministers and deputy ministers are hard at work ensuring that they put South Africa first. We are here to make government work. John Steenhuisen has proved and has shown what this looks like in agriculture, driving growth, supporting farmers, helping turn the sector into a stronger engine for jobs and economic opportunity. Dean McPherson is restoring agency in public works, pushing infrastructure delivery, strengthening oversight, and tackling waste corruption to that of public assets that must serve the people, not a connected few. Leon Schreiber is transforming Home Affairs Democrats, cutting queues, digitizing services, expanding access for smart IDs through our banks. Sivue Gwaribe has shown exactly what implementation looks like. She acted to stop a controversial nutrition tender worth 9.8 billion, protecting public funds and putting learners first. This is clean governance. Solima Lazi is driving reform in the digital space, cutting red tape, advancing connectivity for all, ensuring that from rural to urban, she unlock an ICT environment that supports innovation, inclusion, and jobs. Veli Okamp is strengthening environmental governance, protecting marine resources, small-scale fisheries, and working to unlock ocean economy while supporting sustainable growth. Democrats, Sello Sitsholo is focused on restoring accountability in water and sanitation, strengthening oversight, and ensuring that those that must supply water are held accountable. Samantha Graham-Murray is helping to accelerate energy reform, pushing for faster approvals, more generation capacity, and supports growth and reduces pressure on household and businesses. Alexander Abrams is driving advanced delivery in trade, industry, and competition. She's championing localization, supporting South African enterprises, and helping create the conditions for industry to grow. Dr. Mimi Gondwe is protecting students and strengthening higher education by taking action against bogus colleges and working to expand skills pathways to connect young people to real opportunities. Asha Sarupen is bringing discipline and accountability back to public finance. He has led the DA's fight against higher tax burdens and struggling South Africans. And in small business, I'm proud to say we are cutting red tape, putting entrepreneurs first. We are pushing against harmful regulations. We are fighting to make it easier to do business in South Africa. That is why the DA has been at the center of pushing back against harmful taxes, resisting policies that make it harder to grow a business, and insisting that government decisions must support growth and not suffocate it. This is what the GNU looks like with the DA in it. No empty slogans, no endless excuses, no politics for politics' sake, but implementation. The DA is not just pointing out what is broken. The DA is in it and we are fixing it. We are rebuilding systems. We are restoring trust, and step by step, decision by decision, we are getting South Africa working. Allah, la DA, halala. Allah, la DA, halala.
Please welcome South Africa's best premier, the man who leads the Western Cape government from strength to strength. It's Alan Winde!
And welcome to the stage, the provincial leader of the Democratic Alliance in the Western Cape, Tasha Simmons!
Molweni, goeiemorgen, good morning. Hello, Congress. Hello, Congress. Jeepers, the feeling in this room is electric. I've never felt so much optimism and hope at a Congress, and those of you watching from around the country, from Mzansi, I wish you could feel the energy. If you're not on the blue wave, now's the time to get on the blue wave. For me, yes, for me, it is an honor to be here at such a pivotal moment in South Africa's history. Our party is stronger and is in the best position to lead and run every and more local governments across the country. The election later this year will also position our party to become the biggest party in South Africa in 2029. Congress, just imagine a country, our country, so full of potential, with a DA-led national government at the helm. It is time to believe. When the DA took over the Western Cape 17 years ago, we knew immediately that we had to get the basics right. We implemented transparent financial management. We attracted investors and supercharged the economy. We took a strong stand against corruption. And this exemplifies DA policy in action. In 2009, when the DA took over governing the Western Cape under the leadership of Helen Zille, we inherited an administration with zero clean audits. By 2015, clean audits became our brand, and trust developed with our residents. You see, good governance is the foundation of delivery and trust. And that's the DA difference. When Helen Zille becomes the mayor of Johannesburg later this year, I have no doubt that the same rapid change will happen in Jozi. Johannesburgers deserve a city that works and a government that cares. And Helen Zille will definitely deliver that government. Because when municipalities are led by DA mayors, just like Jordan in Cape Town, just like Stephen Korabi in Drakenstein, or Dirk Hotze in Mossel Bay, or all of those DA-run governments in the Western Cape, delivery improves, services get better, jobs are created, and life gets better. By the time I was elected as the Western Cape Premier in 2019, the foundation had been laid. And our job was to build on that foundation and deliver like never before. Congress, Mzansi, under the DA, we are building schools faster than any other province in South Africa. We can build a school of 500 learners in 100 days under the Rapid School Build program. And talking about education, in Khayelitsha, COSAT High School is one of the province's top performing physical science and math schools. Not in the leafy suburbs, in Khayelitsha. In Mitchell's Plain, where's Mitchell's Plain? In Mitchell's Plain, Spine Road High School is now in the top 10 schools with the greatest increase of bachelor passes, now sitting at 94%. Under the DA, we have built world-class hospitals and clinics across our province. Last year, we began the construction of 45 new health infrastructure clinics or projects taking healthcare to every single corner of our province. Under the DA in the Western Cape, our team, we are the first to have robotic surgeries in our state hospitals, the first not only in South Africa, but on the African continent. We are leveraging artificial intelligence at our clinics across Khayelitsha to Groote Schuur. This enables us to use AI technology for early diagnosis and treatment for health conditions. We are at cutting-edge innovation in our province because of the DA. Under the DA in the Western Cape, we've been known to become a safer province because we use technology and innovation. We've deployed LEAP officers, but we've also been fighting for more and more policing powers. Because we've shown what we can do when we have power. Imagine what we can do if we've got policing powers. But Congress, under the DA, housing delivery outstrips any other metro in South Africa, with Cape Town delivering 200,000 homes in the last 5 years. But the most important for me is how a job changes your life. Under the DA, real jobs created. 400,000 of the new jobs in South Africa in the last 5 years, 360,000 come from one province, the Western Cape. That means for every 10 jobs created in South Africa in the last 5 years, 9 of them come from the Western Cape. And this is not just in the middle of the CBDs. If I think about the call center jobs, most of them come from Mitchell's Plain, Khayelitsha, Langa, and Delft. We stand, Democrats, at a watershed moment in South Africa's history. We must not accept anything other than absolute integrity and commitment. That has been what we have done in the Western Cape in order to be able to deliver DA policy. It is the foundation of what we do. So to everyone in this room, and to every DA member across this country, I say, embody the strongest set of values and integrity in how you live, in how you lead, in how you go about doing your various jobs within the DA, because that is how we build a strong future for our country. That is the hallmark of our party, the DA. Values-driven with great policy, and that is how we change South Africa. Viva DA! I look forward to the next election and 2029 when this party is going to take the feeling in this Congress and spread it from every single municipality, left to right. We are going to make the biggest difference in our country ever. I can feel it, catch the wave. We are getting South Africa working.
Fellow activists, colleagues, Democrats, but more importantly, fellow South Africans. We have heard earlier from Hanif what happens when government actually fails, when institutions are broken, when money is looted, when leadership collapses. It is the people who pay the price. Dis die gewone mense wat die prys betaal. But today, we stand here to speak about actually what works. Because in the Western Cape, for 17 years, a DA provincial government has been building something different. For 17 jaar bou ons iets anders. Not overnight, not through slogans, but through consistent, committed governance over time. 17 jaar het nie per toeval gebeur in ons provinsie nie. Dit was 'n keuse. And the lesson is for South Africans must understand. Goeie regering gebeur nie oornag nie. Dit bou oor tyd. Good governance is not an event, it is a track record. To date, we have built roads that create opportunity. From the recently opened 693 million rand Malmesbury bypass, unlocking freight movement and regional growth, to the 540 million rand Louis Fourie Road upgrade in process in Muscle Bay, improving safety and mobility for thousands of commuters. Dit is hoe ons groei ontsluit in die Weskaap. Over time, we have delivered housing, schools, and clinics that restore dignity. from inner city housing like Founders Garden, Leeuwloop and Prestwich, bring our people closer to opportunity, to new schools in communities like Sunningdale and Vredenburg, and clinics like Diasville, serving growing communities. Maar ons bou nie net infrastruktuur nie. Ons bou geleenthede vir al ons mense. Ek het onlangs met 'n plaaswerker in Vredendal gepraat en hy het gesê, vir die eerste keer in my lewe het ek 'n huis wat ek my eie kan noem. And that is what delivery means. It's not just about our projects, but the dignity made possible through those projects. And here is the difference. Where other parties govern for the next headline, we in the Western Cape will govern for the next generation. Ons bou vir môre, ons bou nie net vir vandag nie. And if you do not govern with discipline and commitment over time, believe me, you will not deliver. Fellow activists, this is why the DA story matters. Because it is not a promise, it is proof. Dit is nie beloftes nie, dis bewys. Because only the DA has shown over time that this is actually possible. But let us be honest, a DA majority means stable government. Waar koalisies beklei, stop dienslewering. Waar die DA regeer, gaan dienslewering aan. And South Africa cannot afford more instability, more collapse, more lost time. Because Democrats, 2026 is not just another election. For all of us, it is the foundation for 2029. 2026 is nie nooit nog 'n verkiesing nie. Because local government is where people experience government first. It is where services are delivered or where they collapse. Dit is waar vertroue gebou word of gebreek word. So if we want to win South Africa in 2029, we must win communities in 2026. As ons Suid-Afrika in 2029 wil wen, moet elke provinsie gemeenskappe in 2026 wen in hierdie kongres. We must govern more municipalities. We must stabilize more towns. We must expand delivery where people live, work and build their lives. Want dit is hoe ons 'n nasionale toekoms bou, deur plaaslike lewering. It is about taking what works and now scaling it. Dit gaan daaroor om te vat wat werk en te vat en dit groter te maak. It is about taking a proven track record and now turning it into a national future. Because that is how we have built the Western Cape. And that is how I believe we will build a better country. So let 2026 be the year we all take to ground. So that 2029 can be the year we take the country. And as I say to the Western Cape delegates, kompatu, siyabangena, masiyabambe. Let's get it done.
I am a mother. I am a father. I'm a daughter. I am a son. I believe in freedom. Freedom to earn a living. Go where I want. Love who I want. Say what I believe and pursue my dreams. I am brave. I am a provider. I believe in fairness. A fairness where our achievements are determined by our choices and hard work. I am a leader. I believe in opportunity. A nation where opportunity is plentiful and everyone's rights are protected. I believe in diversity. every person has a unique perspective and an important role to play in building our nation. We do not judge each other by how we look, but by who we are. We are South Africans working together. We are the Democratic Alliance.
Well, what an incredible morning has been here at the Democratic Congress in Johannesburg. I mean, the amazing performances we have just seen, the speeches we have just seen, it has been incredible. Welcome back to studio. I'm Donovan Nelson.
And I'm Dikeledi Silua. Welcome back and continue following us on our social media platforms using hashtag #DA_Congress2026. I mean, it was phenomenal. The performances, the singing, the speeches. I think we got to hear so much about what the DA is doing around the country to make, service delivery happen and deliver and get South Africa working to every single resident out there and voter. So I think, we can replicate this by actually going and checking our registration status at check.da.org.za, which is also so important. But we are also joined in studio by two important guests. We welcome Emma Powell, our Member of Parliament, and as well, our presiding officer, the second one for this Congress, Umama Bridget Masango. Welcome to studio. Mom Bridget, Emma, how are you feeling about today?
I am feeling so almost emotional. At the just the mood of the Congress. People are seeing what the DA is about. That dose of seeing a party that is run in terms of values and principles of being democratic. We are showcasing what democracy is supposed to look like in a manner that this preparation up to this moment has just been people who want to do what the country is so yearning for in this Congress. I am too excited.
Come on.
And I mean, it's about freedom, fairness, and opportunity. And I think as a presiding officer, Mom Bridget has gotten to do all of that and preside over this Congress. Emma, what is your feeling about the opening ceremony that we just came from?
Well, I think that I'd echo Bridget's sentiments. It's been deeply emotional. We have got Democrats from across our country gathered here today, from our most rural northern provinces to our bustling metropolises down south. And I think that the showcase of diversity here today really is a display of what the Democratic Alliance stands for, the diversity of our country. We're a party that represents all South Africans. I think that I really enjoyed the speeches from our outgoing federal leader, John Steenhuisen. I think that we as an organization have a huge amount to be grateful to John for. The choir, the national anthem, I always get tears in my eyes when we hear the national anthem. And just to see the spirit of South Africa in one room and what the DA does when we pull together, it's a remarkable day and it's going to be a remarkable weekend.
Absolutely. I mean, there was one line in John's speech that really took me when he reminded us that 3 years ago at this very Congress, we made that offer to South Africans that we are ready to govern. We are ready to make sure that we can be part of the national government as well. What are some of your reflections from that speech, Mom Bridget, that stood out for you as well?
This takes me back to when John came to being our leader, when he set out a very clear journey that he would like to take the Democratic on. And one of the ones that I remember the most is the moonshot, where he said, he was even saying he sees us in the union buildings.
Come on, man.
I mean, and it was a dream. And 3 years ago, it was a dream. It was something about the DA saying we are going to rescue South Africa. And today we are getting South Africa working and we are part of government.
Absolutely. Ma'am Bridget, I want to come to Congress. What more can we expect from this weekend?
I promise you, this weekend, if you are a person who just wants to mingle and meet people from across the country, and you just want to hear the stories from other colleagues who come from other provinces, but if you're also a person who wants to see the amendments to the Constitution, the resolution, because the DA is getting bigger and bigger, and we need to move with the time.
Yes.
Because we didn't know in 2023 that we will be in government.
Wow.
So our policies and our constitution need to reflect. And there is something for everyone. And that work started exactly a year ago when the preparation really started to say, what would we want to see, or what would we want South Africa to see? But most importantly, what would we want our delegates who work every day for this party?
Every single day.
You know, thank you, Ma'am Bridge.
Yes.
I mean, it's so important for us to just sit and reflect and the transparency of how we run our Congress and the resolutions and everything that we go through. But Emma, I have to ask you this. How is voting going to go? How many trees have we killed to get voting underway?
Well, the answer to that question, Takaledi, is a total of 0.
Wow.
Because the DA, being the world-class party that it is, has in fact developed its own voting system, which is entirely online. It's called the OPA vote system. And we've got more than 2,000 delegates here, as you know. And tomorrow morning when voting opens, they will each receive a unique code. They can connect to the Wi-Fi that we've provided, and they can cast their ballot on their cell phone. Voting will close, of course, at 9 o'clock. We'll have the results announced, the big announcement of this weekend, around about 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But it is incredible to see just this, when the DA puts its hands to the wheel, the systems that we've been able to develop. And it's a showcase of essentially what the DA is about. Innovation, delivery, and systems that work for ordinary people.
Absolutely. Well, Emma, thank you so much for joining us. Ma'am Bridget, thank you so much for all the hard work. 365 days ago, and now you've given birth to Congress 2026. Thank you so much for yourself and Varian as well. We're going to head back to Bax, the man on the ground. He's got some amazing guests over there for us as well. Bax, over to you, sir.
Today, Home Affairs is celebrating a historic milestone as we have gone live with our first set of bank branches that are operating under our new digital partnership model. What this means for you is that there will be hundreds of additional bank branches around the country. Begin a transformation in how South Africans experience Home Affairs services. This is a date to remember, the 9th of March 2026, because this is the day that Home Affairs begins to change forever. Today marks the beginning of the end of long queues at Home Affairs. Through this new digital partnership, we are dramatically expanding the number of safe, secure, and dignified locations where South Africans can access Home Affairs services. Therefore, accelerating the transition from the Green ID book to the Smart ID card strengthens the security of our national identity system and protects the identity of individual South Africans. This digital partnership model leaves no room for manipulation by any individual, adding so many more service points, decentralizing access bringing these services closer to South Africans than they've ever had it before. We have far too few branches at the moment to reach all 63 million people of South Africa. That's why we are building on our partnership with the banking sector to get these services into hundreds more bank branches across South Africa. By partnering with South Africa's banking sector, and most importantly, by going digital first, we are introducing a whole new experience for South Africans where Home Affairs comes to you. Instead of traveling huge distances to reach your local office, standing in long queues, dealing with paperwork, Home Affairs is coming ever closer to where you live. We are going to be expanding this branch and what we saw here today and the 17 branches that are going live this week to hundreds of branches across South Africa, making sure that you have access to secure services to deliver dignity to you like never before.
DA at Work, rescuing South Africa.
Ratings Africa says the state of South Africa's municipalities, with the exception of the Western Cape, is on the brink of financial collapse.
From the non-maintenance of buildings and potholed roads to being unable to get the most basic of services such as water and electricity. Experts say aging infrastructure and lack of maintenance are a big part of this problem.
The country, of course, has been experiencing water challenges, with some communities not receiving clean drinking water for weeks on end.
Clearly, it shows that the infrastructure was never maintained since the ANC government has taken over.
Tell them, one of them, to live with us for one day and then see if they're going to survive. But we have to survive.
Corruption is a massive problem in South Africa.
Lots of tenders, lots of kickbacks, lots of dodgy deals.
We are now seeing the consequences of corruption.
The increasing cost of living continues to take a toll on South Africans.
And it's going to get even worse.
South Africa ranked as one of the most dangerous countries in the world.
The latest crime stats suggest South Africa is a crime scene.
The unemployment rate is at a record high.
Around 16.9 million people of working age are without jobs as we speak.
The government that South Africans vote for into power to handle service delivery cannot adequately and sustainably manage all these spheres of local government and municipalities.
Why do you think the government is not doing anything when there is so much at stake for this country?
For decades, the Democratic Alliance has led the fight to get South Africa working. Our roots stretch back to 1959, when Helen Suzman's Progressive Party stood up against the apartheid regime. That tradition carried forward through the Democratic Party, which helped shape South Africa's constitution, and in 2000 became the Democratic Alliance, built to be a strong opposition, to protect our democracy and to offer South Africans a real alternative by becoming a party of government. That mission has never changed. In opposition, the DA has been relentless. We have fought corruption. We have exposed abuse of power. We have pushed back for accountability. And we have stood up for the rule of law when others looked away. From the fight for antiretrovirals during AIDS denialism, to the long battle for Zuma spy tapes, to accountability for the Life Esidimeni tragedy, and the pressure that helped bring about the Zondo Commission into state capture, the DA has never stopped fighting for the truth. We have fought for service delivery in broken municipalities. We have fought in councils for fairness and in provincial legislatures against grand-scale corruption. We have fought and we keep fighting. An army of DA councillors in every corner of our country who put residents first, who care deeply, who never give up. Today, millions of South Africans live in DA-run governments. The Western Cape is the best-run province in South Africa. The city of Cape Town is the best-run metro in South Africa. DA-led administrations continue to show that where the DA governs, Government works. And now, for the first time in our history, the DA is a party of national government. Because this party was built to serve, to lead, and to get South Africa working. And very few people have done more to build that story than the woman we honor now. A pillar of our success, a fierce defender of our values, a leader of uncommon courage. She spoke when others stayed silent. She stood firm when others stepped back. And time and again, she inspired the party to aim higher, fight harder, and believe in itself. South Africa knows her as a fighter for freedom. The DA is proud to call her one of our own. She is also mother to Paul and Thomas, wife to Profi, grandmother to Mila and Francois. She is our favorite Gogo, and to many, a godmother of South African democracy. The outgoing chairperson of Federal Council, former leader of the Democratic Alliance, former premier of the Western Cape, former World Mayor of the Year, and DA mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome Helen Zille.
And I think Bax needs to go find Kevin Milam because the amount of electric energy in this room, I mean, there's probably more energy here ever than the entire Kalahari covered in solar panels.
I mean, it's crazy up in here. Everybody is like up and about. Yep. You know, the mood of Congress is exactly that. Everybody has registered. Everybody has got their packs. They are ready to vote. And we heard amazing speeches. Absolutely. From a lot of DA public representatives who are going out there, making a difference and getting South Africa working. And I mean, we had great performances as well. Absolutely. I mean, I know I was dancing to Karen Zoid, so I hope our panelists are doing this. We're doing the same. But I am going to introduce who our panelists are going to be with us for this segment. We have Emma Powell, Member of Parliament, who is back. We have our studio buddy, Kabelo Mokhatutsi from the Eastern Cape Legislature. And let's just reflect on everything that we just got to see in that opening ceremony. Yes. Emma?
Well, I think for me, it's the outfits. Come on. They are spectacular. I'm sure that the cameras will pan to the audience so that those at home can see. We have some spectacular dress-ups here. I loved the choir performance, Karen Zoid. It's incredibly emotional, actually, because you have 2,000 people and 500 special guests standing on their feet, singing together, dancing together, clapping together, and brought together by their deep love for this country. And the diversity on showcase here is spectacular. I really loved the Umgeni Mayor, Chris Pappas' speech. He has turned a failing municipality around in such a short space of time, and it's a showcase of what the DA does when we go into government. But we're all tired. It's been a long week of prepping, but being here, the energy is just so rejuvenating.
It's a restart to the entire system.
Yeah.
KB?
Yeah, I think for me, when we sing Amagwijo, you know, when we had that Gwijo that says, Sekusele kancane, you know, it takes me back again to our 2024 election campaign when we said to people on the ground, and we said, we only have just a little, let's push a little bit more, and we're almost there. And I feel the same energy because, remember, this Congress is committing us into coming up with policies that is going to get South Africa working. And that song is very significant because so that we can get South Africa working. But for me as well, Uvusinova, because I mean, not because I'm from the Eastern Cape.
Listen, but I was sad that it's only one song. I was like, come on,
I actually did one more
because I'm thinking Aspelelanga because in as much as this is the biggest Congress ever, we still have so many millions of South Africans who are DA supporters.
Absolutely.
But luckily they are watching us through our social media. And so Aspelelanga. But from the speeches, as Emma says, you know, you get municipalities, and a lot of people used to say, no, it's just the Western Cape. They are lucky, and they will make excuses. But we are starting to realize that everywhere, it doesn't matter, even if you put a DA government in a sea of failure of a province like Eastern Cape, you are going to see progress in those municipalities. And it's not because of anything. It is because of our sets of policies that Christopher Papas has with him and the mandate that has been given by these congresses like this or gatherings like this. So for me, it shows that we are able to take the Koga story in the Eastern Cape, the Umgeni story, and take it anywhere across South Africa.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, South Africans also would have seen or heard John's speech as well. And what a profound moment of Congress where, you know, he stands up and he says, this will be my final speech. Emma, reflect with me for a second just on that legacy and what John means to this political party.
Well, I think that everybody here today would agree that we owe John a deep gratitude of thanks. In 2019, when our former leader walked off the job, John stood up, put his hand up for interim federal leader. He was then elected with an overwhelming majority, twice over 80% of delegates here put their faith in John. And as he said at Federal Council, he said only one generation of DA leaders would get to lead us into national government, and that was this generation. And it was under his stewardship that the DA went from a party of national opposition to a party of government.
Thank you so much, Emma. It seems like Bax is ready to have fun there on the Congress floor, so we are going to head to the man on the ground. Bax, over to you.
Thank you so much, Double D, for doing that. And there was a lovely opening ceremony right here. We had Vusi Nova, Karen Zoid, some performances from the choir. It was absolutely electric environment, and we were obviously going to go down to work. But we need to unpack that massive opening ceremony. And I'm joined by none other than the Northwest Provincial Leader, Freddie Sonagile. Freddie, welcome to the live broadcast right here at the Gallagher Convention Center in Gauteng, where the ground is shaking because the Democratic Alliance wants to get South Africa working. How do you feel this morning?
I'm very excited. I'm very excited to be here, to be part of history, to be seeing all these diverse people in one room from different areas. It's very exciting.
Amazing. I mean, Freddie, there were many performances that happened today, but also listen to some leader speeches delivering a solid message. What do you take away from what was said this morning?
I think Bax One has to first appreciate those performances. It was amazing. Having Vusi Nova, Karen Zoid in one place, those performances were amazing. But from the messages, you know, when you listen to what John was saying, normally when leaders, when they have to come to the end of the term, they will tell you that it is the end, I'm taking a bow. He's saying that he's going to be an activist. He's going to be joining us on the ground. He's going to be with us and part of us right where he started. When you listen to Helen is saying that I've been here for years, now it's time to pass the baton. It's also a test for the party because now, if you look at all the delegates and the candidates who are vying for positions, it's young people. So we are, as a party now, getting to check whether the investment that we made, be it via Young Leaders Program or whatever, whether was it good investment. And it's a very good test because South Africa, it shows that we are ready to govern and always prepared to give others a chance.
I mean, everybody here is obviously is excited to go and find out after tomorrow who are the next leaders of the Democratic Alliance for the next 3 years. And I mean, everyone is going to be voting tomorrow morning, but what is your feeling about that? What do you want to see in the future moving forward, and what do we need to do?
I think first, Bax, it shows the internal democracy that we have. We are competing with parties that never go to any conferences. We compete with parties that go to conferences and end up fighting. Ours is very organized. But in future, it says that we must keep on investing on young people. If you look at the delegates, if you look at the people, for the first time, very young people are coming coming up. It shows that the DA is doing something right, and we must invest on that.
Look, I mean, right now we're busy dealing with constitutional amendments as we speak. I mean, what is the importance of us having a constitution that works internally for the party, and what does that mean for South Africa?
It shows that we are a party of constitution, that a party of the rule of law, which shows that we also move with the times. Remember, Bucks, we are into this Congress for the first time being part of government. So obviously some of the things that we've been saying, some of the things that we might have said 5 or 4 years back are no longer relevant now. So we need to go back and revisit some of the decisions and say, are they still relevant to today's world and to what the DA wants without necessarily tapping onto our values?
Oh, well, let's get down to business. As you know, we are busy with constitutional amendments. You've heard it right here from the DA Northwest Provincial Leader, Freddie Sonagile. There's so much more that's going to happen at this Congress, not only just seeing performances and speeches, but we're going to be taking decisions that are going to be changing South Africans' lives for the better. Our mission is to get South Africa working. But for us to do that, we need to go to check.da.org.za to make sure that you are registered correctly to vote so that we can get your municipality working again. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back at 2 o'clock.
Municipalities that do best are not ANC-controlled municipalities. They are often DA-controlled municipalities. What is it that they are doing that is better than what we are doing?
South Africa was named Best Country, while its iconic city of Cape Town claimed the prestigious title of Best City in the World.
The city says it's determined to invest in critical infrastructure to improve the lives of residents.
The city will spend more on infrastructure in the next few years than Johannesburg and Durban combined.
More than 8 billion rand will go to new or upgraded infrastructure in poorer communities.
Most of our local municipalities are in tatters. They are heavily indebted and badly run. Midvaal, local municipality in the Vaal, has been one of a very few exceptions in the country.
The Midvaal municipality is working on ditching power utility Eskom and replacing it with a private company instead.
The municipality of Midvaal has been ranked first in clean audits and satisfactory service delivery for years running. It has consistently outperformed most of the municipalities in the province and indeed municipalities around the country.
The South African Local Government Association in KwaZulu-Natal has commended Umgeni municipality for what it said is effective use of the municipal infrastructure grant. In 6 months, it managed to spend the 24 million rands allocation on various projects such as roads, storm water, and finishing all the projects that had been poorly managed before.
The Kocha municipality is fighting crime with the creation of a high-tech intelligence center that helps monitor CCTV cameras and license plate recognition.
The Kocha municipality has also taken further steps to ensure public safety by launching an app for residents. In case of emergencies, the app directly links the user to the monitoring center.
It is a privilege to announce that George Municipality has achieved its 4th consecutive clean audit from the Auditor General of South Africa. This is a significant milestone that reflects our ongoing commitment to clean, transparent and accountable governance.
The West Coast District Municipality has officially been named South Africa's best-run municipality for 2025. 2 of its local municipalities, Saldanha and Swartland, were tied for first place as the top-performing local municipalities in the country.
These are the issues you're going to be considering as you go to the polls. Who is the party that can help us achieve better service delivery where I live?
The Western Cape government is currently pushing ahead to mitigate power cuts. The province has installed numerous solar panels to harness green energy. And Saldanha Bay, Stellenbosch, George, as well as the city of Cape Town are already using independent power producers to reduce reliance on Eskom.
To enable further job-creating economic growth, officials are investing 43 billion rand in infrastructure over 3 years.
7 out of 10 young people in the country are unemployed, but in the Western Cape, 8 out of 10 people have jobs.
sometimes I look at the numbers and I almost have to pinch myself. It's like it's unbelievable. 64.9% of all jobs in South Africa in the last 5 years are one province.
Some of the biggest global companies are expanding its operations in the Western Cape.
The Democratic Alliance in KwaZulu-Natal is now aiming to grow the party and take on the ANC head-on.
They actually outlined their plans for the province in terms of service delivery as well as governance.
The common denominator in KwaZulu-Natal is quite simply building a capable and ethical state.
Since I've taken office, we've cut our debt from 800 million to 300 million. We've done a full audit of all the properties, found over 500 properties the department didn't even know it owned. We've put in place a rapid response team that now responds within 24 hours to problems, no longer the 30 days that previously was the record of the department. So things are happening in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
We are seeing very positive developments since the formation of the Government of National Unity.
International investors are seeing this. They see that there is a seriousness and a commitment, and they like it.
And you know what the DA ministers have been doing. They have been taking interviews. They have been performing.
Dean McPherson, Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, says the real infrastructure problems and crisis resides in local government, and his department's implemented ways to solve these problems at the local government level.
I want us to be a department that South Africa is proud of, that we're using public assets for public good, and that we're turning this country into a construction site.
Minister of Forestry, Fisheries as well as the Environment, Philip Okamp, is currently briefing members of the media on the damage that was caused by floods at the Kruger National Park.
I'm so proud to say that I'm part of this team. Everybody worked so hard to firstly get people to safety, that proactively worked to really make the best out of a really very devastating situation.
Okamp has extended the West Coast rock lobster season for a month. The department says it's committed to working with small-scale fishers and to save livelihoods in the sector.
The Home Affairs Department has this week announced that it has partnered with 5 major banks as the department aims to reduce the waiting times, strengthen security, and be efficient.
I think if we can demonstrate over a period of time that things can get better, even at a place like Home Affairs, we have the potential here to really restore hope that South Africa itself can actually get better.
Minister of Communication and Digital Technologies, Solly Malatsi, says his department has launched a digital transformation roadmap to establish a single digital identity for all South Africans to access all government services.
Basic Education Minister Siviwe Gwarube has reiterated her department's commitment to eradicating pit latrines at schools across the country.
The Ministry of Basic Education is launching a transformative campaign to expand access to quality early childhood development. Well, the aim is to register 10,000 ECD centres this year to ensure every child up to the age of 5 benefits from early education.
Agricultural Minister John Steenhuisen says South African exports have not only remained competitive, but have increased to $161 million.
South Africa has regained market access for the exportation of apples to Thailand. The market has been closed for about 16 years due to changes in requirements by the trading partner.
Minister John Steenhuisen says vaccines are already being distributed across provinces. There's a national campaign underway vaccinating livestock against foot and mouth disease.
Farmers and farm workers are our country's greatest asset, and it's very, very important that everyone involved in the sector, from a farm worker to a large commercial farmer, feels that they have a department that is on their side and speaking out for them.
John Steenhuisen says his party now has a meaningful role to play in the reconstruction of the country.
Our responsibility is to now meet the challenge of the hour and to help turn South Africa around.
But I want to also be clear that what we will not do is to shy away from conflict when we are confronted with serious and lasting damage to our country or its constitution or the things that underpin our democracy.
Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has dropped a controversial value-added tax increase. His decision comes as South Africa's second biggest party, the Democratic Alliance, threatened to leave the governing coalition over their VAT increase.
The Democratic Alliance has described the court decision as a victory for all South Africans.
The
DA's court intervention was the pivotal intervening factor that has enabled the people of South Africa to come out victorious and to show them why their vote really mattered.
It also shows us the GNU starting to function as it should. One party does not now get to dictate a decision for the collective.
It's another positive outcome for the Democratic Alliance in terms of them showing that their ministers are going to do the work. They are in this particular coalition to do good work and quality work. And the ANC, their ministers were already complaining that the DA ministers are making them look bad. They're going to have to pull up their socks.
It's now up to the next generation of leadership to ensure that the DA continues to do so with ever-growing confidence for many, many more years to come, so that we can deliver to the country of our dreams and deliver this country to all of our children.